Imagine preserving meat for 5 years without a fridge, freezer, or a single watt of electricity. Sounds impossible, right? Not for the Amish. While most of us panic when the power goes out, these communities are quietly thriving, stocking their shelves with perfectly preserved meats using methods older than America itself. In this video, you're about to uncover their secret arsenal of time-tested techniques, like salt curing, smoking, lard sealing, and even ancient survival food like pemmican, that keep their pantries full all year long. These aren't dusty old traditions, they're powerful, practical skills that anyone can learn. So if you're curious about living off-grid, cutting your electric bill, or just want to be more self-reliant in uncertain times, stick around. What you're about to learn could change the way you store food forever. Smoking. Smoking meat overview. Smoking meat is another ancient method still widely used by the Amish. It combines low heat with smoke from burning hardwoods to both cook and preserve meat. This process not only enhances the flavor with rich, smoky notes, but it also removes additional moisture and creates a protective outer layer. Smoking is usually done in a dedicated smokehouse or a well-ventilated area and can take several hours or even days, depending on the size and type of meat. The result is a product that's both shelf-stable and packed with flavor. Smoke's antibacterial properties. One of the lesser-known benefits of smoking meat is its antibacterial effect. The smoke contains natural compounds like formaldehyde and phenols that inhibit the growth of microbes on the meat's surface. Combined with the drying effect of the heat, this makes it much harder for bacteria to colonize the meat. The Amish rely on this natural barrier, especially for large cuts like hams or slabs of bacon, which can hang in pantries for months without spoiling. It's a science-backed method passed down through generations with consistent success. Choosing the right wood for smoking. Wood selection plays a crucial role in smoking meat properly. The Amish typically use hardwoods like hickory, apple, cherry, or maple to infuse different flavors into their meats. Each wood type burns at a different rate and imparts its own unique aroma and taste. For instance, hickory gives a bold, hearty smoke, ideal for pork, while applewood offers a milder, slightly sweet flavor, perfect for poultry. Choosing the right wood ensures not just preservation, but also a culinary experience that elevates even the most basic cuts of meat. Sugar curing. Sugar curing introduction. Sugar curing is a sweet twist on the traditional salt cure. The Amish use a blend of salt and sugar to preserve and flavor meats like ham and bacon. Sugar helps balance the salty taste and adds depth to the flavor, making the meat more appealing. It also contributes to preservation by drawing out moisture just like salt, though it adds an extra level of sweetness that enhances breakfast meats and festive cuts. This method has become a staple in many Amish kitchens, especially during the fall and winter seasons. Balancing sugar and salt. Achieving the right balance between sugar and salt is critical in sugar curing. Too much sugar, and the meat becomes overly sweet. Too little, and the benefit of improved flavor is lost. The Amish have refined this ratio through generations of trial and error, often using family-specific recipes. The mixture is usually massaged into the meat and left to cure in a cool, dry place. The result is a product that's savory, slightly sweet, and perfectly preserved, ideal for slicing and serving months later. Shelf life of sugar-cured meats. Sugar-cured meats can last for several months when properly stored. The curing mixture helps prevent bacteria, and once the meat is fully dried and optionally smoked, it becomes shelf-stable. Storage is usually in cool areas, like root cellars or pantries, where airflow and temperature remain consistent. The sugar not only enhances taste, but acts as a mild antimicrobial, supporting longer preservation. Many Amish families prepare sugar-cured meats before winter to ensure a ready supply of protein-rich, flavorful food during the colder months. Salt. Salt curing basics. Salt curing is one of the oldest and most effective ways the Amish preserve meat without refrigeration. This method relies on salt's natural ability to draw out moisture and create an environment hostile to bacteria. By packing meat in salt or rubbing it thoroughly into every surface, the Amish prevent spoilage and extend the meat's shelf life for months. This isn't a new invention. It's a time-honored technique that predates refrigeration and works just as well today. It's simple, cost-effective, and doesn't require any electricity or special tools, making it ideal for sustainable, off-grid living. Salt's role in moisture removal. The secret to salt curing lies in its ability to extract moisture. Bacteria need moisture to thrive, and by pulling it out, salt effectively neutralizes their ability to grow. When salt is applied to meat, it causes osmosis, a process where water leaves the meat to balance the salt concentration. The result is a much drier product that's less prone to decay. The Amish understand this concept well and use generous amounts of salt, ensuring the meat stays dry and safe to eat for extended periods, especially in warmer months when spoilage is more likely. Salt application technique. The way salt is applied is just as important as the salt itself. The Amish don't simply sprinkle salt, they massage it into every crevice of the meat. The cuts are chosen carefully, and the process is done by hand to ensure complete coverage. Some families even reapply salt after a few days, removing excess moisture and repeating the treatment. This hands-on method reflects the Amish commitment to quality and tradition, where attention to detail makes the difference between meat that merely lasts and meat that tastes exceptional after months in storage. Rendered lard as a sealant. The Amish use rendered lard as a natural airtight seal over cooked meats. Once meat is prepared and cooled, it's submerged or coated in hot, melted lard. As the fat cools and solidifies, it forms a protective barrier that locks out air and bacteria. This technique can keep meat safe for months when stored in a cool place. It's a resourceful, zero-waste method that utilizes every part of the animal. The sealed meat retains moisture and flavor exceptionally well, and is often opened later for stews, sandwiches, or hearty winter meals. Lard's preservation benefits. Lard doesn't just seal meat, it also preserves it by creating a low-oxygen environment where spoilage microbes can't thrive. It's particularly useful for small cuts and leftovers that don't fit into jars or can't be smoked. The layer of lard protects the meat from freezer burn-like damage and helps maintain its texture. For the Amish, this method is reliable, efficient, and requires no electricity. It also integrates well with other preservation strategies, allowing them to store cooked meat with confidence that it will last until needed. How to render lard. Rendering lard involves slowly cooking chopped animal fat over low heat until it liquefies. The Amish usually do this in large pots, stirring regularly to prevent burning. Once the fat is fully melted, it's strained through cloth or fine mesh to remove any solid bits. The result is a clean, golden fat that can be poured hot over meat or stored in jars for future use. The leftover solids, called cracklings, are often eaten as snacks. This process shows how the Amish waste nothing and turn every part of the animal into something useful. Vinegar brining benefits. Vinegar brining is a lesser-known but highly effective Amish method for meat preservation. The acidity in vinegar creates a hostile environment for bacteria, helping to keep meat safe while adding a tangy flavor. The Amish often use vinegar to preserve sausage, fish, and even poultry, blending it with herbs, spices, and sometimes sugar. This method not only keeps the meat from spoiling, but also imparts a distinctive flavor profile that makes every bite memorable. It's another example of their ability to blend tradition with practicality. Types of vinegar used. The Amish use various types of vinegar in their brining recipes, depending on the desired flavor and type of meat. Apple cider vinegar is a favorite for its mild sweetness and natural antimicrobial properties, while white vinegar provides a sharper, more neutral tang. Occasionally, red wine or malt vinegar is used for deeper flavor in heartier meats. The choice of vinegar can drastically alter the taste, making it a critical part of the preservation process. These vinegars not only help preserve the meat, but also act as a natural tenderizer, improving texture during the curing period. Spices in vinegar. Brining. To enhance the flavor and preservation power of their vinegar brines, the Amish add spices like garlic, dill, peppercorns, mustard seed, and bay leaves. These additions not only boost flavor, but also offer their own antimicrobial properties. Spices are chosen to complement the meat being preserved, and recipes are often handed down through generations. The blend is then left to infuse over time, allowing the meat to soak up complex flavors. This process makes even basic cuts taste like gourmet fare, all without refrigeration or synthetic preservatives. Pemmican origins and use. Pemmican is an ancient survival food originally made by indigenous peoples and adopted by the Amish. It's a blend of dried meat, rendered fat, and sometimes berries, forming a dense, energy-packed food bar. The Amish use it for long-term storage and as emergency food. It doesn't require refrigeration and can last for years when kept cool and dry. Rich in calories and nutrients, it's ideal for hard labor or travel. This method speaks to the Amish tradition of learning from and preserving age-old knowledge that works. Pemmican ingredients. The three essential ingredients in pemmican are finely shredded dried meat, melted fat, often tallow or lard, and occasionally dried fruits like berries. The meat provides protein, the fat supplies long-lasting energy, and the fruit adds sweetness and vitamins. The mixture is pressed into bars or stored in jars. The Amish avoid modern additives and preservatives, relying instead on the purity of their ingredients and the protective quality of fat to keep the product safe. It's a perfect example of nutritional preservation at its simplest and most effective. Shelf life of pemmican. Pemmican can last anywhere from 1 to 5 years if stored properly. The high fat content seals out air, and the absence of moisture prevents bacterial growth. It's often used during long winters or packed for journeys where food options are limited. The Amish appreciate pemmican for its durability and convenience. It's portable, dense, and doesn't spoil easily. While not an everyday food, it's kept as a backup or travel ration. Its shelf life and simplicity make it a standout example of the Amish ability to preserve food without relying on modern refrigeration. Drying meat is one of the most traditional ways to preserve meat, and the Amish have perfected the art of making jerky. They slice meat into thin strips, season it with salt and spices, and hang it in dry, warm, well-ventilated areas. Over time, the moisture content drops so low that bacteria can no longer survive. The result is a flavorful, chewy snack that lasts for months. Jerky is lightweight, portable, and requires no refrigeration. It's a favorite among farmers and families needing a quick, protein-rich bite during hard work or travel. Ideal drying conditions. For meat to dry properly, the Amish ensure it's exposed to warm temperatures and low humidity. Drying typically happens in barns, porches, or kitchens with good airflow. On sunny days, they may even dry meat outdoors using mesh covers to keep out insects. The drying time varies by thickness, but can range from several hours to a couple of days. The goal is to remove enough water to prevent spoilage without cooking the meat. This method turns even small trimmings into valuable, long-lasting food with minimal effort or equipment. Uses for dried meat. Dried meat isn't just for snacking. The Amish often rehydrate jerky in soups or stews, using it as a convenient, flavorful protein source during winter. Because it's compact and shelf-stable, dried meat can be stored easily and added to a variety of dishes. It's also great for travel, picnics, or emergency meals. The versatility of dried meat makes it one of the most valuable forms of preserved food. It embodies the Amish philosophy of resourcefulness, getting the most out of every part of an animal with little waste. Pressure canning. Pressure canning meat. Pressure canning is a high-tech looking, low-tech tool the Amish use with great skill. It involves sealing meat in glass jars and heating them under pressure to temperatures high enough to kill bacteria and spores. This method creates a vacuum seal that keeps the meat shelf-stable for years. Unlike water bath canning, which is only safe for high-acid foods, pressure canning is necessary for meats. The Amish use this technique especially during harvest and butchering seasons when large quantities of meat need to be processed and stored quickly. Benefits of pressure canning. The biggest benefit of pressure canning is the ability to store cooked meat safely without refrigeration for 3 to 5 years. It's a practical solution for families preparing for winter or economic hardship. The jars retain flavor and texture and can be opened for quick meals like stews or casseroles. Pressure canning is also economical. Jars are reused year after year, and the energy used to process them is minimal compared to running a freezer. It's a long-term storage solution that aligns perfectly with Amish values of thrift, sustainability, and preparedness. Step-by-step canning process. To pressure can meat, the Amish begin by cutting raw or cooked meat into chunks and packing it into sterilized jars. They may add broth, fat, or seasonings. The jars are sealed and placed in a pressure canner, which is heated until the internal pressure rises above 10 psi, allowing the temperature to reach 240 degrees Fahrenheit or higher. After maintaining this pressure for a set time, the jars are allowed to cool and seal. Once complete, the jars are labeled and stored in cool, dark places. It's a safe, proven, and efficient preservation system. Root cellar. Root cellar basics. Root cellars are underground or partially buried storage spaces that use the Earth's natural insulation to maintain cool, stable temperatures year-round. These cellars are essential to Amish food storage, keeping both vegetables and preserved meats fresh without the need for electricity. The thick earth walls provide a consistent environment with minimal temperature fluctuations, which is ideal for long-term storage. The Amish often build these cellars near or under their homes for easy access, using them like natural refrigerators to hold food safely well into the winter. Controlling root cellar temperature. The effectiveness of a root cellar depends on maintaining temperatures between 32 to 42. To achieve this, the Amish strategically place their root cellars away from direct sunlight, insulate them with earth, and install proper ventilation. These measures prevent temperature spikes and reduce moisture buildup. Ventilation shafts allow warm air to rise and exit while drawing in cooler air. This careful balance creates an environment hostile to spoilage, yet perfect for storing smoked, salted, or canned meats. Thermometers may be used, but most rely on experience and seasonal adjustments. Design tips for root cellars. Successful Amish root cellars are thoughtfully designed to manage both humidity and airflow. They are typically dug into a hillside or built into a basement with earthen floors and thick stone or wood walls. Wooden shelving and hanging rods allow airflow around stored items. The Amish avoid metal racks, which can rust or conduct unwanted heat. Ventilation pipes are strategically placed, one high to exhaust warm air and one low to pull in cool air. These passive design features make the cellar effective without modern tools, highlighting their self-sufficient ingenuity. Outdoor freezing. Outdoor freezing in winter. In colder months, the Amish preserve meat by utilizing the natural freezing temperatures outside. After butchering, large cuts of meat are hung or stored in sheds or barns where they can freeze solid. This method turns their backyards into seasonal freezers. It's highly effective, but only reliable during consistent below-freezing weather. Families often coordinate butchering schedules with the coldest parts of winter to maximize preservation. This outdoor freezing approach requires no electricity or chemicals, just an understanding of climate patterns and careful timing. Managing risks with outdoor freezing. While outdoor freezing is simple, it does come with risks. Sudden thaws or heavy snow can compromise the meat, leading to spoilage or water damage. To counter this, the Amish cover the meat with breathable materials like burlap, which allows airflow while keeping moisture out. They monitor the weather closely and bring meat inside or into root cellars if temperatures rise unexpectedly. This method is low-tech, but requires vigilance and experience. When done correctly, though, it offers a zero-cost way to preserve large quantities of meat for weeks or even months. Freezing improves texture. Interestingly, freezing meat naturally, especially in outdoor conditions, can improve tenderness. The slow formation of ice crystals within the meat helps break down muscle fibers, resulting in a softer texture once cooked. The Amish understand this and often note that their frozen meats develop richer flavors and better mouthfeel. Unlike rapid industrial freezing, which can cause water loss and rubbery textures, this traditional method enhances quality while still keeping the meat safe. It's a small but valuable side effect of using the cold to your advantage.